Hey, welcome to That Guy Talks Movies. I am that guy talking movies, and today talking news, like film, movie, entertainment news kind of thing. I want to do a wrap up, and I kind of want to experiment a little bit with the idea of possibly doing every Friday a weekly wrap up of anything movie related, new trailers, movie related news, streaming content, that kind of thing. So this will probably be the first sort of go at that, but let me know what you think of it. If you're new to the channel, before we get started, go ahead and hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And you know, if you want to hear all this kind of stuff, if you're into movies, you're into film and collecting 4K media, home media, and all that good stuff, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And the people that have stuck with me and continue to watch my channel and continue to support me, much love to you guys always. All right, let's get into it. All right, so first thing I want to get into is AMC, right? So AMC, who's, mind you, their stock is up. I'm going to preface everything by saying their stock is up like 60% in 2023 so far, after having like dismal returns and such previous quarter last year and such, right? Which we won't get into. We're not going to make this a stock report, but I just wanted to preface this by saying they're doing quite well. Now, this is the nation's largest food chain, and they're introduced this new thing called Sightline pricing, right? So what this is basically putting people in like the cheap seats. Like, so now when you get a ticket to go to the theater, you kind of just go and sit where you want, unless you go online. Like I go online and I order, you look at the theater seating, they show you the chart online, and then you kind of pick your seat. So you have your reserved seat technically, but there's no, like, as long as it's available, you can just pick whatever seat you want, right? But now they got this thing called Sightline pricing, which essentially is making like, premium seats. So they've got different tiers. So they've got the standard seats, which is the most normal, the common price of a ticket, right? Then they got value seats, right? Which is basically the cheap seats. So they're gonna be like the seats that are like way in the back or on the side, or seats that people technically may not really want, but those are considered the discounted lower price tickets. And then they've got the Jay-Z seats. They've got what's called preferred Sightline seats. These are the premium seats. It's for the ballers, right? Is what this is. So this is like the sweet spot in the middle of the theater, a certain distance from the screen, right? So like dead center middle, right on that sight line of the screen, right? Now this pricing is not going to affect matinee prices. Apparently this is only for, anything before 4 p.m. this won't affect. But, I look at it currently right now. So the theaters that I go to, like one of the main theaters I go to is an iPic theater, which is like, if you haven't been to an iPic theater, I highly recommend going to one. There's like beautiful, you got like private seating booths and they're like with a table, and it's like these big orange leather chairs and they're lounge recliner kind of things. And you get food served to you and bottles of wine. And that's the way I love going to the theater like that. Those tickets are like $18, right? And then for an adult, and it's like $12 for a kid, but you're paying for that experience. You're paying for the luxury that's associated with an iPic theater. When you go to IMAX now, an IMAX theater, an AMC IMAX now, it's $21.79. All right, for adults, and it's like $18.79 for children. All right, on a regular screen, if you go to AMC and you don't go to the big IMAX, with all the bells and whistles, and you go to, I guess, like a regular digital screen, it's $15.79 for adult and $12.79 for a kid. Now, I don't know how this is going to change things for people, like, because you're not creating this environment where, those middle seats are like the exclusive people. And some people get off on that. Some people are going to like that. Hey, we're in the good seats, right? I don't think it's going to affect me personally, because again, I usually go to the iPic theater, and I don't like being in that sweet spot anyway, which is weird. Like I tend to enjoy movies. I don't like being crowded. So, and this had nothing to do with COVID. This is before COVID. Like, I don't like being in the middle and there's people to my left, people to my right, people in front of me, people behind me. I just don't like that. So I usually sit on the edge anyway, which is kind of strange, but I enjoy the movies. I don't have any problem seeing it. So I don't know. And I don't think I'd pay extra money to sit in that middle seat. Would you pay extra money? Let me know in the comments below. If you're going to pay extra money just for that particular seat, do you have a particular seat that you like to sit in when you go to theater? Well, let me know in the comments. Next. Big news, Idris Elba ain't black. Who wrote this piece? Idris Elba tells the Esquire UK in an article that he did recently about some of the racism that he has definitely encountered in his career, and added that he stopped describing himself as a black actor when he realized it put him in a box. And he goes on to say, we've got to grow. We've got to. Our skin is no more than that. It is just skin. And I think that's interesting that he says that, because I often, I've spoken about like black cinema, black actors and such, and where we're describing things as black film, black actor, but black, and I think sometimes you just remove that and just look at it as art and look at it as, what it is. And that's really what counts. But again, it just goes on to say, and I'm quoting him here, as humans, we are obsessed with race. And that obsession can really hinder people's aspirations and hinder people's growth. I totally agree with him on this. I actually get him on this one. So, and I think the best thing he said was, I don't want to be the first black. I'm the first Idris, which is kind of like, I just thought that was kind of cool. Like you're saying, I'm not the first black person to do this. I'm not the first black actor to do that. I am the first Idris to do something. I thought that was very cool. So Idris Elba addressing something that I thought was worthwhile talking about here on That Guy Talks Movies. All right, moving on to Salma Hayek now. News with Salma Hayek on being forced into her marriage. She married like a billionaire or something. She married like a billionaire. Yeah. All right. So the incredible Salma Hayek tells the story of being forced to the altar when it came to her marriage to the French billionaire businessman Francois Henri Pinault. Did I say that right? The 56-year-old Magic Mike actress Hayek says, I didn't even know I was getting married that day. They just took me to the court. My parents, my brother, they were all ganging up on me. I had a phobia of the marriage thing. So apparently, yeah, she said yes to the engagement, but then the actual ceremony, they had to drag her down to court to get her. I guess this guy, the French billionaire, was like, look, I know I can have a lot of women. I'm a billionaire, but maybe I can't get her. Like he really wanted to make sure that wedding was actually happening. So they actually had the ceremony a few months later, and there was like 150 guests there, a ton of family and friends. And clearly it's worked. They've been married for 14 years now. So, speaking of Salma Hayek, she also shared, because she is doing this thing with Magic Mike, she shared that the sultry dance that she did back in, what year was that? 96? I want to say 96, 98. Dusk Till Dawn, Robert Rodriguez, starring Tarantino and George Clooney, and Salma Hayek is in this. And she talked about how that dance, that phenomenal memorable dance with the snake, that kind of changed her career. And she was talking to Channing Tatum about the same thing and how they share that one experience, that they both did a dance in a movie that pretty much was going to be something that changed their career, had an effect on their career. So I don't know about Magic Mike. I think I saw the first one. I don't even think I saw the full movie, but I know her dance in Dusk Till Dawn, and my God. All right, so now it's time for movies and a couple of movie announcements. So Disney revealed there's going to be a Toy Story 5. Why? I don't know. How much can they do with Woody and Buzz? I don't know. And the pig. And I enjoy those movies immensely. I'm actually a big fan of the first one, second one, and even the third one. I kind of forgot what the fourth one's about, which is the one where they introduced a spoon. It might be the third one or the fourth one. Anyway, I lost count. But they're doing a fifth one, so I guess they're, whatever. They're doing a Frozen 3. I've never seen any Frozen pictures, so I don't know if that gets my movie person card pulled or something, but I haven't seen any of the Frozen movies. Zootopia, which I actually enjoy very much, they are making a second one, so I'm looking forward to that. Now, this story here I thought was interesting because I did a review on the Netflix movie starring Jonah Hill and Lauren London, right? And Eddie Murphy, Nia Long and company, right? But I did a review on that movie. If you haven't seen that, you can look up here and see what I thought about that. But in my review, I talked about the fact that they seemed kind of awkward, like there was no chemistry between them, and the movie didn't show them in any romantic situation. Again, I wasn't expecting massive sex scenes, but I just thought it was interesting that they didn't even show them really kissing. So apparently, there is one of the co-stars, Andrew Schultz, says that the actual kiss at the end of the wedding scene, when they actually do the kiss, it was actually faked and it was CGI. I was like, first of all, how do you do that? But apparently he goes on and he kind of talks about, on his podcast, he talks about they stopped short of the actual kiss. So he figured they were going to wind up editing that later. Like they'll stop short of the kiss and they'll cut away to some reaction or something of Eddie or Julia Louis-Dreyfus or something or whatever, right? But when he saw the movie, they actually ended up stretching them through CGI of some matter to make him appear as if they kissed. Now, I don't know what's the problem here, more the issue. The fact that they did that in CGI and they were able to do that, or the fact that Jonah Hill and Lauren London couldn't just kiss to do a quick, they're a married couple in a movie and they couldn't kiss. Really just strange shit. In other movie news, we've got AntMan Quantumania, which is opening next week on February 17th, and it is already getting incredibly rave reviews, with most of the talk about Jonathan Majors and his role as Kang, and that this performance is supposed to be just unbelievable. Now, I remember when he shows up in, was the last episode, second last episode of Loki, and I just thought he blew it away. I mean, he's an incredible actor. And they're saying that this is the Star Wars of the Marvel Universe at this particular movie. And Meredith Loftus over Collider tweeted that Thanos is tame in comparison to what lies ahead with Kang in this movie. So I'm just like, okay, if this guy's making Thanos look tame, then this should be quite interesting. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that one. I haven't looked forward to a Marvel movie in a while. I can't remember the last one, I think. But this one, and I'm not a huge Ant-Man fan, but for Jonathan Majors and from what they're saying about this, I am looking forward to seeing this. So next week, February 17th, we'll see what happens. And of course, I'll probably do a review on that. Now, this is the big one for me, I think, or I thought to be the most interesting, the Air Jordan story, right? What's called Air, the making of whatever it's called, making of a shoe or something like that. It's making of a legend, something along those lines, right? But it's basically the Nike company Air Jordan story that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are doing. And Ben Affleck is directing. I think Ben Affleck is a great director. I enjoy his work. I think he's a great actor as well. A great actor, but I think I don't think he gets as much props as he should, especially as a director. So I'm looking forward to this. It comes out April 5th. It's a lot of history there going on. So for all you youngins who are collecting Jordans and all into Jordans and retro Jordans, and all, this is going to be a whole story about how this even came to be and how this is just a big thing. So I don't know how they do a whole story around, because essentially this is marketing, right? So this is a shoe company that wasn't doing too well, sneaker company, and it's a whole marketing thing. I forget the gentleman's name, but I think Matt Damon is playing him, that puts together this whole thing and this whole plan to secure Michael Jordan, who at the time is like a rookie, not even, right? And to ink that deal and how that deal changed the history of Nike, right? So that's what this whole thing's about. So, and if you look at the trailer, if you haven't seen the trailer, I encourage you to go ahead and watch the trailer. Viola Davis is in this playing Jordan's mother. You've got a pretty decent cast. Marlon Wayans is going to be in this. Chris Tucker is going to be in this. But notably absent is the actor who will be playing Michael Jordan, because they haven't revealed it yet. They're going to be using archival footage of Jordan, and there's going to be stuff like that throughout. And Jordan himself will not be making any kind of cameo, any kind of appearance whatsoever, which I thought was kind of strange. But anyway, we'll see what happens with this film. I am just curious to see who's going to play Jordan. I thought that was like kind of like that being absent in the trailer. I was like, okay, who's playing Michael Jordan? Because there's a meeting when they go to the Nike offices. I know that history a little bit. And I just want to see what they're going to do here. Anyway, that's it. That Guy Talks Movies. I just wanted to do this quick thing. Again, I'll be experimenting once a week, maybe, where I do this thing, where I do a little wrap up of things that I find interesting or things I might want to share with you in the news regarding movies, film, entertainment, stuff along those lines. All right. So that's it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I truly appreciate that. And the notification bell. Hit the like button on the way out. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these trailers. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan thing coming up. Let me know your thoughts on the movie chain pricing, the AMC movie chain pricing. Like, what's up with that? Anyway, I'll see you on the next That Guy Talks Movies. Wait a minute. That Guy Talks Movies. I just did a whole video and I didn't talk about my lovely Rihanna here. This Sunday, Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles playing in the Super Bowl. So while this is not a sports related thing, I just did a video where I talked about entertainment news, and how could I not? Like, I put this background up for a reason, because this is a big deal. She's going to be doing her thing on the Super Bowl, and I just want to talk about it really quick. Shout outs, much love to my girl Riri, and I am very much looking forward to this. So if you're looking forward to this as much as I am, go ahead and hit those comments and let me know what you're going to think. And I'll probably talk about the performance at some point. I'll squeeze it into a video where I'm talking about movies or something like that. But I did have the background up, so how I could not mention that, I don't know. So I wanted to quickly add this. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments below what you think of, you got the Chiefs, you got Philadelphia. I got Philly person, because I'm a New Yorker my whole life. I'm a New Yorker, so Philly's the closest thing, really. So I got to go with Philly. Anyway, see you on the next That Guy Talks Movies.